It's 8:14 on CH Morning Live, and Wedding Bells magazine recently surveyed over 1,500 engaged couples to get a snapshot of some of the latest trends that you're going to see at weddings this summer. Editor-in-Chief Alison McGill joins us now. And this must have been a fun survey. You're asking about, what things cost and who's making the decisions and who's arguing.
Exactly. We asked everything, and we got tons of interesting feedback. Some stuff we knew, some stuff we didn't know, and some things that made us go,
Like what?
Well, one of the categories we actually had was things that makes us go, And one of the things is that 24% of our respondents weren't over a previous love.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's an issue you got to get over if you're going to get married.
Exactly.
Right?
That doesn't bode well. That sounds like a runaway bride right there.
That's almost a cause for a therapy magazine and not a bridal magazine.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly. There was lots of other interesting ones. Stress with the in-laws is a big thing.
A lot of it was anticipated stress. Brides expected to have.
Yeah. And a lot of people also said that they found the wedding planning process much more stressful than enjoyable, which, it's one of those things that we hear all the time at Weddingbells.
Right.
But it is, supposed to be a joyous life event. So we like to try and take the stress out. So we like to be the girlfriend that listens to all the problems and helps them sort them out. Okay.
So what other were some of the problems and that you heard from brides?
There wasn't a ton of problems. A lot of the stuff we heard from them is, about cost and how much they're spending.
Right.
And they're spending a lot.
Right.
They're averaging $17,000 is what they're estimating to spend, but what they actually end up spending is upwards of $25,000.
You're kidding me?
No.
That includes everything. That includes your honeymoon.
That's not including the honeymoon.
Including honeymoon.
No, that's just including the cost of the wedding. So we learned costs about that. We learned that most of our respondents are already cohabitating. 71% are. So it's not an exception. It's the rule these days.
Right.
And but people are still setting up shop. They still register. A lot of people register at 2 to 3 places.
Right. And at different places now, too, right? We're seeing a lot more hardware stores and home improvement stores.
Absolutely. It's not just, fine china people are registering for anymore. It's home electronics, it's lawnmowers, it's barbecues, it's all kinds of things. People are traveling internationally for their honeymoon. That's a big thing. Right. The U.S. is a big destination. Hawaii is huge. But people definitely take a honeymoon. It averages in at 8 nights, which is great because I think you need that break after you've gone through all of that. Absolutely.
Now, what about things like, I remember reading somewhere this week, actually, that brides still, no matter what their age, whether they were married before, they still want that fantasy wedding.
Right. And I think what has happened over the years is maybe the interpretation of the fantasy has changed a little bit. It might not be so much the big gown and the Cinderella celebration. Right. The fantasy's diversified. So a fantasy might include getting married on a beach in Mexico.
Right. So it might be a location.
Right. Or, running away to a castle in Scotland. Right. But people generally still want that, the party, the hoopla, the attention, and it is a special day in your life. And our philosophy at Weddingbells is it's your day, you should have it your way. Right. So anything you want to go to Mexico and get married, well, try and make it happen for yourselves if it's within your means.
What about the realization that, okay, there is a life after this big day, and don't just plan for that one day and think that, oh, you're going to have a happy marriage?
Well, absolutely. I mean, you have to hopefully go into this with a level playing field, right? You have to plan that, this is a doorway basically that leads to the rest of your lives together. So, if you already home together, great, but you're still going to have that house. You may want to buy a new house, buy a cottage, plan for the future and all that kind of thing. So a lot of financial planning actually has to go into this as well. And I think with wedding planning, you have to be on the same page with your budget. That's a huge thing. If she wants to spend X number of dollars, but he doesn't, you've got a problem, and this is where you're going to see this kind of strife happening. And I think you really have to get financially balanced before you enter your marriage, because that's going to carry over into your life afterwards.
Right, because that's a good indicator of what could happen. What about are parents still paying the bulk, or is it the couple now that's kind of paying for most of the wedding?
The couple does pay for the bulk of it. I mean, the average age of the couple has gone up. The average bride is 29 years old, and the groom is averaging in 30 to 32 years old. So these are established people. They're working. They have a career. Many people pay for the weddings outright themselves. Others pay for half, have a family contribution, but it's no longer the whole traditional thing where the bride's family pays for everything. That has certainly changed.
Which is a good idea.
Yes.
Now, are the results of this survey in the magazine, in the current issue?
They're coming out in our next issue, which is out on stands in July, and they're also available right now at weddingbells.ca.
Okay, Alison, thanks so much.
Thank you.